Yesterday I posted a time-lapse video of me modeling this tambourine, and tonight I'm going to do the full video with explanation of how I did it. It's relatively simple. It's a little bit trial and error. It's not as exact as some of the other techniques, all right? So it doesn't always work out perfectly. If you hit it, you get it. If you don't, you just do it again. It's not hard to do. All right, so here's the idea. I'm in the opening scene of Blender. I'm going to switch over to Cycles Render, and then I can use GPU compute because of my video card. Doesn't matter whether you have that or not. All right, my screencast keys are on, so you can see the keys that I type, and I'm going to hit A and delete everything in the scene. Then I'm going to hit 1 on my numpad and 5 to go to orthographic view. So I'm looking straight on from the front of this thing. I'm going to go Shift A to bring the add menu and choose a mesh cylinder. So there's my cylinder. I'm scrolling in with my mouse wheel. I'm going to scale this in the Z down a little bit like that to get the approximate height of the tambourine, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to select the top face here and the bottom face, X, and delete those faces. So this is all I'm left with. All right, now I'm going to hold my mouse over the object here and go Control R, and that's going to bring in a pink line in my case, which is an edge loop. I'm going to roll my mouse wheel up and I'm going to get a bunch of those edge loops, just a whole bunch. All right, and I'm going to accept that and deselect, come back into object mode, come over to the wrench, add modifier, subdivision surface of 2. All right, so that's what we have so far. All right, now I'm going to go Shift A and Shift A mesh and bring in a plane. I want to rotate this in the X so it's standing up. Rotate RX90, rotate X90. I'm going to bring it forward to the front and press 1 to look straight on. I'm going to hit S to scale. I'm going to scale it down a nice size and move it up. And I'm going to scale this in the X so it looks like that. And I don't want it too close to the top. Okay, great. So we've got that. Maybe I'll scale it a little bit more in the X. I'm going to go Control A and rotation and scale just to lock that transformation in, because I was in object mode when I scaled and rotated it. With my 3D cursor still in the center of the stage and the center of this object, essentially, I can mirror this down. And that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go add modifier mirror while this plane is selected, and for the mirror object I'm going to choose the cylinder, and I'm going to do it in the Z direction. All right, so I get 2 of those there. I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to set the origin to geometry, go right in the middle of those and bring them a little closer. Still got my 3D cursor right there, so I can now mirror these to the back side. All right, so with the planes selected, I can go add modifier mirror, choose this in the Y direction now, and there they are mirrored onto the other side. I hit apply. Now my origin for this sort of unified object is right here, so I want it right in the middle. So origin to geometry, it's right in the middle. I still got them selected, so I'm going to go Shift D and rotate Z90, and that's going to put them on the other sides. Just those 2 though, so let's reselect these. So I got them all, Control J and join them. My 3D cursor and the origin of this unified object is right in the middle, so I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to go Shift D and rotate Z 45 degrees now. That's going to put them there. Select all of them and Control J, so they're all joined together right there. Okay. All right, now the way that we are going to get these to conform to the surface is using something called shrink wrap. So with the plane selected, I'm going to go to add modifier and choose shrink wrap, and the target of this modifier is going to be the cylinder. So I'm going to choose the target, cylinder, and I'm going to hit apply. Okay, I've applied that, but this is still a separate object. You can just see it got pulled into the cylinder. With those selected, all the planes, I'm going to shift click on the cylinder and go Control J. There, now they're joined. I've still got my subdivision surface there. I'm not applying that. I'm going to go back to 1, and I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to see this. Now this is what I wanted. I wanted this kind of arrangement. I'll explain it to you maybe as I go along, but I'm going to go into face mode, and all I see is this little bit and this little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of the pieces that have this a piece of the rectangular plane in it. So this. Okay, so 3 on this and 3, 3 and 3. I'm gonna hit X faces to delete them. But I've still got this, so I'm gonna select both of these, X faces. And that's what I'm gonna be doing for all of these. So it's gonna take a couple of minutes. I could switch to doing this, which might be easier. Add that. Alright, that kind of thing. Faces, don't forget those middle ones. Now these holes are looking a little bit tall, so I may have to shrink this down a little bit. That's okay. Not that one though. But these ones. All the way around. It's not those ones. There are different ways of punching holes into a subdivision surface, and this is just one that I like to use for this particular object. Go back to object mode, and I think I'm going to scale this into Z to make them a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to hit smoothing, and the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to switch to let's get rid of the grid floor in the display, and let's go to shading, matte cap, ambient occlusion, and that shader that I tend to use almost all the time. All right, let's go to add modifier, solidify, and I like to bring this above the subdivision surface, and let's start pulling the thickness, adding some thickness. Okay, let's have a look at this for a minute. I don't have as much space here. All right, so we're going to have a look and see once I add that at whether or not I need to redo this, if that's enough space. So I'm going to put an edge loop in here and here, and I'm going to have put one in the bottom as well, and then we're going to look at this and see if it's passable. If not, like I said, it's a little bit more trial and error, this technique. Not bad. All right, we'll carry on with it then. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to come up to the top, and I'm going to go Control R here, slide an edge loop over there, Control R, click and slide over there just to flatten that surface out a bit. Let's come to the underside of this as well, and go Control R, bring one towards the middle, not right to the edge, and towards the outer side, and that'll sharpen that up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so what I need to do now is back in edit mode, I need to put supporting edges or edge loops in all of these holes, one towards the back and one towards the front. I'm not pushing it right to the back, I'm pushing it near the back. This is going to help sharpen that up and also reduce the stretching overall. So it takes a little bit of time, but I'm not going to be super accurate. I'm just going to put them in, and we'll see what the overall effect is like. Again, none of this is very hard to do, and so if I didn't like the result, you can just do it again until you get something that works for you, that you really like. All right. If this piece is a little bit too close, I could do it again with the planes more separated from each other. I can make them smaller. You know, whatever you want to try. That's not what I want. Control Z. And one towards the front. And we just go through it all. This is the longest part of the whole video, so just bear with me. That's why I did the time lapse, so you could watch it speed through and not have to watch me do every single one of these. But we're getting close, just a few more to go. I think there's just one more. and we'll have a look. We're going to look for stretching because that's going to be, well, I guess that's done. I guess it's just these ones here. That's going to be the number one problem. And hopefully it's not going to be too bad, or else we'll be doing it again. So let's see. It's not too bad. All right. So I think we'll go with it. So what I'm going to do now is go into edit mode, and I want to be in edge selection. I want to put a top on this, and then I'm going to need to probably do some adjustments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the innermost edge, which is this one here. Okay, I'm going to Shift Alt and click that, and then I'm going to hit F to make a face. And then I'm going to come and select that face, and I'm going to Shift Alt and click to get this whole row of polys. Not that one, let's zoom in. All right, that face, and this, and this. And I think I'll get this as well. This whole row of polys as well. Shift Alt and click. And I want to pull those up because I want a bit more room here. What I'm going to do now that I have more room is I'm going to do the same selection. So the top face, which looks all weird right now, Shift Alt and click right on this edge or on the poly. Usually it's on the edge, and you get the whole row. That one and that one. So I get all of those. In fact, I take it back. I need a little. Well, no, I'll use this. I'll use this row of polys. I'll Shift Alt and click on that. I want to sort of make that skin that would go on the top of it. So I've selected all of that, and I'm now going to hit E to extrude, and that's going to get rid of that weird pattern. And I want to scale this out, but not in the Z direction, not higher, just outwards. So I'm going to look sort of from there. I'm going to go scale, Shift Z, and I'm going to pull out a bit. I can always adjust how much later on. So let's just have a quick look at that. Okay, I'm simulating the skin there, but let's make it a little sharper by going into edge mode or edit mode, and then putting an edge loop up there, not right to the top, and there, and we'll put one under here, Control R, and I'll pull it up near the bottom, and that should sharpen it up, but still leave it kind of smooth. Now, is that a big enough top? Let's hope that it is. So let's put some screws in this now. I'm going to go Shift S, cursor to selected. I just want to make sure that the cursor is right in the middle of that, which I think it is. Shift A and bring in a circle. Let's pull it up and scale it down. S to scale it down, nice and small, and bring it down close to the surface of this. And let's see what my front is there. So I'm going to pull it forwards in the Y. Let's zoom right in. Let's rotate this X90 and look at the front. Sort of line it up and make it a lot smaller. Not too small though, something like that. Bring it close to the surface there. And then I'm going to add some depth to this. So go into edit mode, make sure it's selected, F to make a face, E to extrude and pull it out a bit like that, and then go Control B and pull back like this, and then roll your mouse wheel up a few times to get some segments to round it a little bit. Pull that into the surface and click on smoothing, and that's going to represent like a bolt sticking out. I'm not going to do a bolt pattern or anything. I don't need to say right now. All right, so I've got that there, and it is in the surface. So now what I'm going to do is, with my cursor there, I'm going to go into edit mode and hit A to make sure that bolt thing is selected. Okay, my 3D cursor is right in the middle of this. With that thing selected, I'm going to come over to the side and click on spin, and for the angle I'm going to choose 360 degrees, and I'm going to choose 15 for the number of steps and the number of bullets. All right, and there they'll be. But we have more work to do. We have to select them all, so hit A a couple times and click on remove doubles. Check this, remove some vertices, and also go Control N to flip normals that were facing the wrong way. I'm going to deselect and go out of edit mode, and I'm going to get this. All right, so that's looking just fine. Now this is a subdivision surface, but I am done working on this, so I'm going to go ahead and actually apply it. So I'm going to click apply, and now I can select the bolts and the tambourine and go Control J. and that'll join them. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and put the other little jingly things in there. So I'm going to choose a circle, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to make it smaller again, and I'm going to bring it forward and down and sort of fit it into that space there and get a sense for how big it is. Okay, I don't know how big these things are supposed to be, but we'll see. I'm going to look in wireframe at it and see that it's roughly centered over that, you know, that kind of thing. And let's have another look at that. Yeah, that looks kind of okay. Now they're going to go down near the bottom, but all right, that's fine. So now with that circle, I'm going to go into edit mode for the circle. Make sure it's selected. F to make a face, and E to extrude. I'm going to pull it up a little bit. And now I've got that and that. I'm going to come back into object mode and go Control A, apply scale, just because I've changed the scale in object mode. And I go back in edit mode, and in face selection, which you can get from down there, select the top face and the bottom face, and put your mouse out to the side, inset, and bring it in pretty far so you get a smallish hole like that. All right, and now I've got that, and then I'm going to come over and go with the top and the bottom selected like that. I'm going to go Control E, and I'm going to choose Bridge Edge Loops, and I'm going to make sure that Merge is not checked. Okay, with that stuff still selected, I'm going to scale in the Z, and I'm going to pull like that, and that's going to pull the top surface up and the bottom surface down. You can do this as much as you want. Scale Z. But I'm also going to select it all and go Control N. Sometimes with the bridging edge loops with spheres, some of the polys get flipped. But that's what I'm going to do roughly for that. I'm not quite done. I'm going to switch to edge selection. I'm going to choose this edge and this edge. Shift Alt and click. Control B, pull back a little bit, and put 2 segments in. Roll my mouse wheel up twice to bevel it. Okay. I'm also going to do the same for the hole itself because it looks too sharp. So I'm going to go Shift Alt and click that hole there. And on the bottom side, if I can get to it, I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to go Control B, pull back, and put a couple segments there. It's not very visible. Come out, and now I'm going to choose smoothing for this, and that's going to be just fine. I'm not going to put a subdivision surface on it. All right. Front view. I need 2 of these though. All right. So in fact, that might be a little bit too. I might go scale in the Z a little bit. Shift D. Pull one down. Let's look right at the front. Make sure they're not exactly hitting, but they're not far. It's just something like that. All right. Now I'm going to join these 2 together. Control J, and put the origin of geometry. Shift A, and bring in a cylinder, which is in the correct orientation. Let's scale it down. Oh boy, that worked out weirdly. Thought it was going to come in at my cylinder scale. Let's scale it again. Yeah, let's do that again. All right, so origin of geometry, Shift S, sorry, cursor to selected is what I really need to do. So my 3D object comes in there. My 3D cursor was right there. Yeah, that's silly. Shift A, cylinder. Now I can scale, and it should be right there. In fact, right in the hole. Scale this in the Z, and just make a decision about how wide. I think I'll go a little wider. Scale, Shift Z, not higher, but just a bit wider, just like that. And I'm going to see if I can make sure that that hits the top and the bottom. And it does, and that's fine with me. So I'm going to select that and those. Control J. Okay. Now I'm going to start mirroring this. Okay. I just want to decide if I like the positioning. I kind of feel like I want to move this a little bit away, you know, even though it's not exactly natural. In fact, you know, whether or not you want to have these resting on the bottom due to gravity. You think about that. Anyways, let's select the main tambourine and go Shift S, cursor to selected. That's what I need to have it right in the middle. All right, we're going to mirror this across. So let's look, just look in the top. I've got my 3D cursor in the middle of the tambourine, and I'm selected this. I want to mirror this to the other side with respect to this. So I'm going to come to mirror, choose the tambourine in the Y, and I will get that and apply. All right. Now let's origin geometry, And now I'm going to do what I did earlier. I'm going to go Shift D, rotate Z 90, and that's going to put them on the opposite sides. I'm going to go ahead and join those, Control J, cursor still in the middle, Shift D, rotate Z 45, that's going to put them there. Let's just make sure everything is selected. And now I'm just going to go Shift D and I'm just going to pull them down. Just like that. And boys and girls, that is our tambourine. If we wanted to, we could join everything together. And now we can, scale this if we need to, or whatever we want to do with it. And that's it. That's how I modeled the tambourine that you saw. And let's take a quick shot of that. And that's it.